So when you're looking at lead generation, you've got two different types of lead generation. You've got lead generation that is going to bring you business within 90 days. And when I say business, not a potential lead within 90 days, but I'm talking a closing within 90 days, right? So, and then you've got lead generation that is a longer term than 90 days. So if you guys are looking at this process and saying, okay, if I'm looking at 90-day or less closings, what fits in that category? What do you think?
Expired, FSBO.
Open houses.
Expired, FSBOs, open houses. What else? What'd Marie do and participate in?
Networking
Events.
Right. Okay. Events. Okay. What else? What else would fit in 90-day or less closings?
I often get referrals in that time. Like someone refers me their, parents or whatever.
Yep. Referrals are kind of on that it could be 90 or it could be. I mean, it's everybody should be asking referrals, right? And it could go both ways on that when you look at that piece of it. Okay, good. What do you notice about 90-day or less that is the same? There's something very similar about all of those forms of lead generation.
Is it that they're face-to-face?
You're on the right track. So you're getting in front of people either by phone or face-to-face, and you're actually talking to real people, right? I mean, every single one of those, you are either face-to-face or face-to-phone on those, okay? So think about 90 days or beyond. What goes in that category?
Nurturing.
Okay, nurturing, right? Drip campaigns, right? Those types of things. What else? YouTube. Yep, you got it. Although you can get lucky on YouTube, and it's mostly a 90-day or beyond, right? Okay. What else?
Thank you cards.
Thank you cards. Yep.
Newsletters.
What else would you say, Marty?
Circle prospecting.
Circle prospecting. Okay. What else? Okay. What do you notice about those?
Not face to face,
Right.
not person to person.
Yeah. Right. They're passive. If you think about that, when you go through that. Okay. We are going to talk about one of the passive ones today. And I know y'all are all going, wait a minute, since when have you ever talked about one of the 90-day and beyond ones? So, all right, kind of Nick's laughing. We're going into this because I had a friend of mine that started a YouTube channel, and he got 1,800 subscribers in 3 days. Yeah. Right. You want to see, I know exactly. I was going because guys, I haven't had that either. I mean, Mike hasn't had that, didn't have that kind of fast response, but I'm going to show you because he put his process and he posted his process. So I'm going to walk you through the process, and when we go through this, you're going to say, well, damn, that makes a hell of a lot of sense. Right. But it's going to take a little bit of research to do it. So we're going to walk through that research, and we're going to go through it. I'm going to show you guys exactly what he did to do that. And so you guys can do the research as well for where you are. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to do it live with one of you guys. So who wants to be the guinea pig? Come off mute and let's do it. Nick, you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Perfect. What city are you in?
Salt Lake City, Utah.
All right. I like it. All right. Let's get into this. I thought this was really, really interesting, and it really does make sense when you do it. Okay. So I'm going to do Salt Lake City homes for sale. Would that be a popular search keyword?
Sure.
Salt Lake
I
City?
think anywhere. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, probably anywhere, right? I mean, if somebody's looking. All right. So let's look through this. And by the way, what you're seeing over here, I highly recommend. This is called TubeBuddy. Has anybody ever seen TubeBuddy? Okay. If you haven't, check it out. They've got a free version. They've also got a paid version as well. And it's awesome. Really is good. So all of these things that you're going to see over here, but So here's the piece. So here's the first thing that you're going to look for as you're going through it. Okay. Notice 555. Can you guys see the board over there? Kind of. All right, good. 5. Competitor channels. Okay. So let's start there. If you're looking through here, oh, look, it's Nick. Nice. I like that. Good. So you look at Nick and you see his, and he's got 139 views. John Austin, I'm not going to pick on you, Nick, but I'm going to say
No, you're fine.
4.5, 4,500 views, right? 1.1 thousand, 1.1, 6.3. So I'm kind of looking through here a little bit and seeing what looks like they have a ton of view. 242,000 views. Do you know who this is, by the way?
I actually haven't seen that guy yet.
Okay. So that's a crap load of views, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you 242,000. So I'm going to come back to that one. 967, 27, 2.5, 2.9, 61. Oh, 143. That looks like it's a paid site. So I'm not going to do that one. 10,000. No, that's not one. So you look through here and what I'm looking, oh, there you go. 19,000, right? So here's what I'm going to start with that one. Okay. All right. So let's go check out Living in Utah. All right. 5.46, 5,500 subscribers, 300 videos, right? And it may or may not be one of the biggest ones that are there, but what I'm also looking for is this. Look at the number of views, 242,000, 42,000, 39,000, 39,000. That's pretty impressive, right?
Yeah, big numbers.
Yeah. I mean, even the smaller ones, as you look through here, here's what else I noticed too. I'm not even sure if if this is active anymore. Look at how, I mean, I don't see one within 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, yep, 1 month ago. All right, here we go. 11 days, 3 weeks, 1 month. All right, so it is active. So here's what I want to do. One, I'm going to look at this and I'm going to write down this one, but I'm going to start doing a little bit of research on this site, right? And I want to look at it and I want to say, okay, he's got this channel keywords. He doesn't have any channel keywords, which I find very interesting when you look at that, right? But let's look at this and let's take this video, because the other piece that I'm looking for too is I want to find 5 proven topics. Hopefully you're doing this and writing all this down, right, Nick? Because this is your competition. Okay. So look at the topics. Avoid moving to Utah unless you can handle these 10 negatives. And by the way, I have seen that headline on a buttload of YouTube channels all the way across the country. So there's a pattern in that, right? Because what's that doing? Look at this one. 5 worst neighborhoods in Utah. Pros and cons, unique laws, non-Mormon in Utah. How much did it actually? What's some of the things that you notice about the headlines?
Piques curiosity.
Yes, piques curiosity. It's clickbait, right?
Yep.
I mean, if you really think about it, because you know that it's not a negative thing, right? So let's look at that. So when I look at that, I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy that and I'm going to put it into a little spreadsheet, right? But then here's what else I'm going to do. And by the way, this is what that TubeBuddy thing will do as well, because it's going to look at all of the keywords. And now what do I get to do with those keywords? I get to copy them, right? I get to copy those keywords. And I'm going to look at all of the different pieces in here. I'm going to look at his SEO score, see what that is. So he's got all of these pieces that are very similar in that. So he's got everything that he's searching for. I can see it, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy the title and I'm going to copy the keywords of that one. And then what I'm going to do is this, and this is kind of cool as well. I want to see if this really is the #1 on his. So TubeBuddy will allow me to compare this video with the channel's most popular one. So I'm going to compare it, or any others, by the way, like including mine. You could put yours in there, Nick, if you wanted to. Okay, so that is his number one. But then his number two is pros and cons at 40,000, right? 39.8. And I'm going to compare, and I'm going to copy each of the sets of keywords on both of those. And I'm just going to keep them and put those down. So now I've got a couple of headlines, don't I? Right? I've got avoid moving to Utah unless you can handle these 10 negatives. I've got my pros and cons of living in Utah. Things have changed, right? And then I'm going to continue looking down through this process. What I want to do is I want to find 5 proven topics. The second thing that I'm going to do, and this is not his thumbnail on it, his thumbnail, if I go back to, or here, let me do it with this one. So I can see the thumbnail piece of it, pros and cons, right? And I'm going to copy that. So what I'm looking for is 5 topics from each of these. I'm going to look at 5 thumbnails. Everybody got that? And I'm going to look at 5 titles. I'm going to copy all of those different things with his keywords for each of those videos. So as I go through this process, I'm looking at each of those, and then I'm going to go down and say, what else is here? Okay, so I've got a different one. Here you go. Let's click on this first one. All right. 1.3, 1,300 subscribers, 39,000 views, though. That's pretty substantial for the views. Okay. So what's my process now? What am I going to do?
Look at the keywords, look at the title.
I'm going to copy the title, right? And I'm going to copy what?
Keywords.
Copy the keywords, okay? Because you look at these keywords and this is what people are looking for. Notice something too. Look at this. Why people regret. Pros and cons of living. Anybody see it? Moving, pros and cons. Anybody see something that's kind of similar between a lot of those? Avoid moving. Aren't they similar?
Oh yeah.
Right? Aren't they? What's interesting is, aren't they getting similar views?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So there is. Wait a minute. Hold on. Clear my comparison. There we go. Now let's do it. Channel's most popular. This may be the most popular one. Okay. So this one is the most popular one on this channel. Pros and cons of living in Utah. Let's do top 10 things. That's 2.5. Did you guys see how this works?
Yep.
Right? Okay. So I'm looking at all pros and cons. I mean, 12,000 views. Not bad, right? Same thing. Let's compare and see what the top one is for theirs. Okay, they've got a different one. And this is cool because I can see what do the thumbnails look like, because this is the first thing that people see as they're looking through there. 67,000 views on that one. So let's go look at this one. All right. Living in Utah as a non-Mormon, what you need to know. That's probably good information, right? Okay. And again, look at the ones and look at the things. So as you guys go through this, this doesn't have to take you that long to go through this process. Again, you're looking 5 competitor or complementary channels, 5 of their top videos, 5 of their thumbnails, and then 5 of their titles. So guess what you are going to do from that point forward?
Maybe create yours with
There
those
you
same
go.
exact titles.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Okay. You are going to do the exact same thing. And you may change a word of the title, or you may not and just recreate your video with your information using the same title. Because how many of those titles were the same?
Yeah, pretty much all of them.
Pretty much all the same, right? Guys, you just got the key to having that kind of growth really, really fast. Ryan, put it into Chat GPT to get video ideas based on the research. Yes, you can do that, but your research is right there. It is proven right there. When they're getting 30 and 40,000 views on the same title, whether it's in California, Utah, or North Carolina, and it's the same title, what else do you need to know? That's a pretty quick and easy hack, isn't it? Right? Okay.
Definitely.
It
That's
is. Now, keep in mind, how long does it take you to start getting results from your YouTube channel?
I'm thinking like 6 months.
That could be about right, which is why have something that's a 90-day and have something, a lower than 90-day and have something that's above a 90-day as well. Now, Matthew, seems too simple, doesn't it? I mean, it does. It's like a duh thing, but how many of you guys that are doing YouTube have done this? I know some of you have. Some of you have. How many of you how many of you want to do YouTube? Okay. Did this just kind of cut your learning curve a little bit? In one of those pieces that you're doing is model success, right? And you'll hear that. Mike Sherrard, guys, has taken that and is almost 90,000 subscribers in it. And by the way, he's not the biggest that's in that space. I mean, by a long shot, right? If you're looking at whatever it is that you're doing, find the ones that are already there and doing it in your area, because unless anybody here number one in their area yet? No. Okay. So you have some, what was that, Eladio?
Soon.
Yeah, soon. There you go. So now you have a framework to go get there, right? If they're getting those results in your area, all you're doing is R&Ding what they're doing. Everybody knows the meaning of R&D, right?
Rip off and duplicate.
Thank you. There you go, Nick. You got it. Right? That is all you're doing. Okay. That is real estate. So this just hopefully made that process into something that is much more simple. What if there are no channels in your area? Miranda, what area?
Grafton, Wisconsin. I mean, there's stuff in Milwaukee, but like I'm a small town.
I would use the closest one. Use the closest, but change it to yours. So where is it?
Wisconsin, Grafton.
Let's look. Grafton. Why does it come up with Grafton? Grafton was Utah ghost town.
Exactly.
Let's see. All right. Hey, look, there's you. All right, so here, let's go through this as well. Let's find, I have no idea where this research right here is going. Just want to let you guys know. Let's do it live and find out. All right. So I did Grafton, Wisconsin real estate. How big is Grafton? Where are you, Miranda? Come on.
12,000 people roughly.
Okay. So I'm looking at this piece, right? Grafton, Wisconsin real estate, search volume poor, right? Competition is good, right? Because there's not enough search volume to make it worthwhile. So if I'm looking at that, I'm going, okay, what can I find that potentially is going to change that search volume, right? So I want to look, let's just look at Grafton, Wisconsin without the real estate piece of it, right? Okay. So your search volume just on Grafton is medium and your competition is medium. Overall, it's worth targeting. So that's probably more your target. And if you want to do this piece, this is what you're going to more look like. And here's what I do on this. Okay. 10 places in Wisconsin you should never move to. I'm guessing Grafton is one of those that he put on there. All right. Guys, Miranda, you're not alone in this. There's somebody else on this that has the same thing. But what you can do is do a play on that name, right? The 10 reasons why you shouldn't move to Grafton, Wisconsin. Then do a play on that, because what's going to happen? You're going to end up getting all of the search results when you target those pieces. And if I want to look at this one, I'm going to look at what his keywords are. And if he's getting 841,000 views, if I get just a piece of it, because look where he's targeting right here too. See this one? Wisconsin Realtor, right? What are the best parts of Wisconsin? He is targeting the real estate piece of it. So I want to target that exact same thing. I may use that channel as one of my models. Okay. Not perfect, right? But be creative with it, because that one's getting 800. I mean, that's 850,000 subscribers. That's pretty substantial. You get a piece of that for 15,000 in your population, then you just took over your market, because there's nobody else there. Okay. All right, cool. Hopefully that helped, right? Be creative in that. Okay. All right. Questions, thoughts on this? Has anybody gone through this process with their area? Marty, you have? Okay. What'd you find?
So this is actually where I get the majority of my leads from. And I will tell you, it is a longer process. And my strategy with YouTube is doing model home tours of new construction. So I'm getting relocation clients that are wanting new construction. And that process is the reason why it's so long. So that is one of the reasons I'm trying to build more pillars. And this is one of the ways to do it, because I've set up that YouTube pillar and it's great at getting, you know, an extra 10 leads a year or 20 leads, depending on how many videos you put out. But I definitely agree with, it's like one pillar in addition to the other ones. And when I first started my channel, I was putting out one video a week with great keyword research. I got my first call within 3 months. But that was just a call, that was just a lead. My first closing didn't happen until maybe like from YouTube, like 8 months later.
Yeah. It is a consistent process, right? And that's another piece of it too. When you're starting that research, and Marty, you can speak more to this as well, the home tours, and especially those new construction home tours, those are fantastic, because what do we have a shortage of? Homes, right? And that is a great way for you to increase your inventory without it being your inventory, but still having it to sell, and get in and build a relationship with some of these new construction communities. If you guys go to, as they are looking for people to do that, they're looking for, if there's an on-site agent in your area, they would absolutely love to do a video with you. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Every single model they have. How many models do they have in one of your neighborhoods?
Usually one, but some will do 2 or 3 if they
Okay.
have more than one popular for one. And
Yeah.
I just had an agent call me last Friday. She was letting me know she was moving to a neighborhood closer to where I live, and she wanted me and my husband to come down there and film it.
Yeah, fantastic. But what you said, yes, you got a lead in 3 months, but the first closing wasn't until 8 months. Guys, and that's the piece of it. And how many videos are you doing a week now? Is it still just one?
It was 2. It's between 1 and 2.
Okay. So
Mhm.
consistency, you cannot skip. right? You will lose, YouTube will watch what you're doing and it will skip. If you skip a week, guess what? It sees it. Big brother and you on YouTube is watching. Diane?
That's been my biggest problem this year is I actually have Mike's company doing mine. So
Yep.
I know they're optimized. I know everything's good, but I've been really inconsistent. And it's okay. I mean, my mom passed away in February and, you know, you just have to take it in stride. And that's why I joined Rockstar, because I'm like, I'm just going to focus. And even through being this sick, I focused. I still did my open house and I still did like minimal, but I'm just going, you know, you just have to give yourself grace sometimes, but there's a consequence to it.
Yeah.
So I think that's the most important thing is to be consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. Isn't that real estate? Regardless of what you're doing, is the consistency piece of it, and focusing on a narrower set of subjects, right? So if you're going to do, if you are going to do your lead generation, the optimum way to do it is one piece of lead generation is 90 days or less. Pick one of those and then pick one of the ones that's 90 days or more and have those two as your focus until they are running so smoothly that you can predict the results. And that's going to take a little bit of time to do that. One-on-one, especially if you are struggling in real estate and you need to get a jump start on it, you find one thing that is within 90 days and you commit to it for the next 6 months. You find one thing that's over 90 days and you commit to that, because that's going to be a pain in the ass, right? Because you're not going to see the results fast and you're going to think it's not working. And then all of a sudden, Marty, right, it turns the corner and you start getting something because you're starting to build that, right? That is that piece of it. Keep in mind when somebody starts searching, let's stay on the YouTube subject. If they're searching for homes, when did they start searching on YouTube for the home that they may want in the future on average? You might know that number.
It's like 6 months. It's
I
usually
was gonna say 6 months.
2 months?
Years.
Ah,
Nick went, oh shit. 2 years. They start looking. Think about you guys. If you're thinking, oh, someday I want to buy a vacation home in wherever. When did you start looking? Someday I want to move to. When did you start looking? Right? 2 years, maybe generous.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 5 years. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very true because I'm trying to leave Spokane and I spent winter in Florida last year exploring and figuring out if I want to live in Florida. And this winter we're going to South Carolina. So yeah, so it takes time.
It does. You're starting to explore things, right? You're starting to explore different areas where you could move or you may want to move or whatever it happens to be. And guys, you start a lot sooner than you think. So that's why it takes so long for this process, because you're going to get a ton of views and 5% of them may end up making that move over
And
time.
that could also be a great video topic.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's why those ones, the clickbait titles, why not to move here, the 5 reasons to not move to Salt Lake City are huge, because guess what somebody that's doing their research early is going to do? Well, shoot, I'm thinking about that. Why not? Right? That's why they're clicking on that stuff. If you look at anybody that is, does this, especially on that realtor side, that's really good at it. There are a couple of them that are really good. Obviously, Mike is good. Karen Carr is good. She does a great job. Malcolm Lawson is good. If you guys haven't seen their channels, go check them out because they are good. Watch and look at their actual realtor channels, not their coaching channels. Look at their realtor channels. And if you want to look at 2 of them where you can go and get a list of topics and titles to do, Those are fantastic because you'll see, hold on, let me look. Let me pull it up. Bear with me. And I'll show you. Oh, perfect. Got it. All right, here we go. All right. So this is, he's in Maryland. Can you guys see it? Okay. Okay. So you got 27,000, 120 videos. He doesn't, I don't think he does a ton anymore, but if you look at some of the ones that really have a lot of views, huge red flags. I mean, look at refinance at free houses, just look at the views that they've got on them for some of them. And you can get some really good ideas for titles and for subjects for yours. And just go through and do this with theirs as well. Let's see if I can find the clearance. There you go. And let's see, Georgia Coast Homes. There you go. I mean, when you can go get 68,000, 88,000, even 4,500, 23,000, 7.9, 15, that's good. Especially for a local realtor when you're looking at those. And you can see, notice what it does too. I mean, hers are 5 best living in pros and cons. Oh, wait a minute. Have we seen that title before? Pros and cons. Yeah. What they don't tell you about living in them. Do not go to these without knowing. It's the same thing, right? All the titles are the same and all of them get the exact same number. I mean, thousands and thousands of views. Guys, just go copy, rip off these titles and go make yours. Eladio?
Yeah, again, so this is a segment of the market that is looking for the house in a period of 2 years, but there are a lot of people that already done the research and they're ready to buy and then looking for information for the area they're aiming to. So that's another sector of the market.
It is. And that's where, you do what Marty's doing with her tours of new construction and properties and things like that. That's going to get those people looking at those. So yeah, good ones. That just gave you, if you think about this and you think about doing the informational one about the area, and then you do a specific one, that's a couple of videos you can do every single week. And once you get the keyword segment and the process of this, then you've got it down. And if you can get a company outside to do it, that's great. I mean, Mike's got one that does a really good job. Here's the reality too. If you go to Fiverr, you can find somebody to do your videos for about 10, 15 bucks. And they have a real estate segment and section if you haven't looked at it. So cool.
Say what?
Scott said, what? Huh? What? Yep. They have here, watch.
Fiverr?
So editing?
Yep. Here, let me show you. I'll share again because I love Fiverr. They do a good one. Cheryl does one, especially if you're only going to do a couple each month. All right. So here's Fiverr. And if I look at this and I say, okay, I want to do
right now, you need me?
Hold on, Scott. I'm going to mute you. Okay. If you're doing that, real estate video editing. Oh, look, how about that? And there you go. Professional. Let's see, 15 bucks, 25, 45, 40. It just depends on which one. If you find your right one, 15, 25, 20. A couple of little things on this. I am going to do a top rated seller and I'm going to do a level 1. Those are the 2 that I want to do. And then you can find, 10 bucks, guys, 15, right?
Used to be 5.
What's that?
Used to be a Fiverr.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. That's right. You know, you look at them and you can see the examples. They'll show you the examples of all of the different ones, whatever it happens to be. Just go through and look at them.
Yeah, Fiverr's pretty cool, guys, if you've never used it, because you can get logos for $5. They'll do cartoon images of you for $5 or $15, whatever. But I mean, they'll do websites for you. They'll do literally they'll bump your Instagram viewers for you. I mean, explore it. It's a crazy, crazy place.
Yeah. Be careful with some of them though, especially like the ones that are going to, you know, you mentioned the Instagram ones. There's some on there that are going to go find Instagram, you know, they're going to bump it, but it's going to be from people that are not even in the country. And so just be careful of that piece of it. But yeah, you can still find them and good ones. Okay. All right. So 5 competitor complementary channels, 5 proven topics from each one, 5 proven thumbnails from each one, 5 proven titles from each one, and then go make 5 videos on each of those topics. Good. Yes. Good. All right. Questions? Eladio, you got your hand back up.
Can you make 5 titles for 5 different stages through the search process? I mean, pros and cons is 2 years. Okay.
Yep.
Then in a specific neighborhood is another one.
Yep.
Then on your neighborhood, there are, you know, the finance, the restaurants, the good things around, the schools and everything. And then one specific of the buying process.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if you think of it, you know, you look at some of the things that we've had that are in there. We do that exercise, the top 10 things that buyers ask, top 10 things that sellers ask. That's a whole nother series, right? That you're doing. Top 10 things that buyers should ask, top 10 things that sellers should ask, whole nother series to do those. And those, once you do them, you just keep refreshing them each year or every other year as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You got it. Marty.
I will give you guys one of my videos that I did that did not get a lot of views, but it got me the most ready buyers. Like I put it out, I think in December, and January, I got 3 calls in 1 week from a video with 37 views. And it was a video that I did with my lender. We did a video together talking about down payment assistance. And I got 3 calls, and not all the people that called me needed down payment assistance, but they were looking at that video and they were at the point where they were searching financial stuff regarding buying a home. And when they're at that point, usually they're further down the pipeline. And I closed 2 out of 3 of those deals within 60 days. So that was one, like if you're looking for topics that are higher converting, get with your lender partner, have them like on, like you're interviewing them like a podcast. And that way you're attracting another audience instead of people who are just looking for houses. They're actually looking with intentions because now they're looking at financing. And then they already know your process. If you talk about with your preferred lender, I need to get pre-approved, then I need to call you, and it's all like one-stop shop. So that was one of my biggest videos, is not view-wise, but as far as calls and converting.
Love it. Yeah, that's going to get somebody that's actually looking right now, right? So, yep, great tip. Yeah, you could have fun with that. You know, why you don't want to buy right now. You know, why the rates, you know, things like that are just, yeah, you can have fun with that too. All right, guys. Anything else before we sign off? Has this been helpful?
Just last question.
What, Ladia?
What do you use for video analytics that you've been using? That video analytics is part of YouTube or
TubeBuddy? That TubeBuddy. Yep, that's probably the best thing that I've seen for the stats, and it'll run them. It'll show you all of the, as you go through, it'll help you do the keywords. It'll show you the rankings, where you should rank. It'll show you what the thumbnails are in coordination with the other thumbnails and what yours is doing. So it is well worth it. I want to say, guys, it's only like $150 for a year for the big version of it. I don't remember. just go to TubeBuddy. I have an affiliate thing, but I want you just go to TubeBuddy and figure it out. Okay.
Nice. TubeBuddy. Okay.
Yes, TubeBuddy. You got it. Dave, real quick, what you got?
Have you used keywords everywhere and compared that with TubeBuddy? Because I'm using that and I don't know. Do you think I should switch, or is keywords everywhere comparable, or what?
I think that TubeBuddy does a lot more. I mean, keywords everywhere is good, but I see TubeBuddy being used by a lot of people that are big channels.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, you got it. All right, y'all. Thank you. Appreciate you. Have a fantastic day. And we will see you if you're in the game. We'll see you obviously at noon. If you need anything else, see you at 4. And you guys have the schedule for the rest of the week. Go make it happen.
Thanks,
Thank
Rob.
you, Rob.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Thanks, Rob.